top of preventative care. With expert physicians and compassionate care, we're here to help you take the next step in your health. Call 217-735-2317 today to schedule your first appointment. That's 217-735-2317. SIU Medicine. Forward for you.
From the Heart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning, and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. The transition to better weather is upon us, and local authorities are reminding that this can be the time of year when crime increases. Monticello Police Chief Rob Ross indicates they often see increased burglaries of motor vehicles, homes, and garages.
So usually what we see is there's an uptick, sometimes burglaries to vehicles. You know, in the spring, it's nice. You know, we start getting outside more. It's not as cold. We see the sun. So usually in the spring and in the fall, we see an uptick in burglaries. So what we definitely try to, hone in on people is we get everyone's busy, but man, just make sure you lock your vehicles up. Make sure there's nothing visible. It's the old adage we've been going over for the last, 10, 15, 20 years. If you're out and about at the mall, grocery store, whatever, don't leave your purse on the or your wallet in a center console or in the seat. That just invites people to try your doors or, get entry to try to get to that. If you can, put it in your trunk, hide it, where it's out of sight, out of mind, and not just for wallets or purses. That's cell phones, that's, tablets.
The chief indicates it is best to make sure those outdoor cameras and security systems you have installed are updated, the cameras are in focus, and any subscriptions that are required with them are current.
Well, like I said, it's just that, people are out and about. So much like whenever the clocks change, the fire department tells you to change your batteries in your smoke, carbon monoxide detectors, things like that. Make sure that your residential cameras, whether that be a Nest camera, a Ring camera, Arlo, anything that you have around the house, make sure it's hooked up to your Wi-Fi or internet. Make sure the batteries are charged in it, or make ssure it gets new batteries. Again, we go to a lot of houses where, man, I've got, all these cameras. I spend a lot of time and money on them. And then when, God forbid something happens, we go there and say, hey, we notice you have cameras. Do they work? Oh, they haven't worked for a few weeks or a month because the internet got kicked off or the battery died and I forgot to charge it. So now's a good time that, pull the cameras in, before you go to work or something, plug them in, charge them, let them charge all day, and then put them back out when you come home.
Sure.
That way, it's peace of mind.
Chief Ross indicates that rarely are these crimes of forced entry to vehicles or garages, but rather, most often, they are crimes of opportunity. Demand continues for CDL drivers across many areas, says Jason Thomas with Midwest Technical Institute.
You've got your big companies that do the over-the-road that are nationwide. We've got our students that are more interested in staying local to where they're from, and that's where we get in touch with the farmers. There's in Illinois, that's a hotbed. Everybody needs people to haul grain. Distributors use them for deliveries. We down at our Springfield campus, we had an Amazon location that opened up right around the corner from us. So there's a need out there for anybody that, no matter what type of position they want to use their CDL for, there's something out there for them. And I mean, even the garbage companies are beating down the door trying to get in to talk to our students about getting out and working for them as well. Anybody that's got the will to work, and open to learning some new things. Not everybody has an opportunity to drive a semi, and when they're learning to drive. So it's a matter of taking the initiative to try something new, and also kind of being brave to try something different as well. Those trucks are pretty big, but we've got a lot of great instructors to help with that learning curve with the different size vehicle.
Midwest Technical Institute had a presence at the Midwest Truck and Trailer Show in Peoria earlier this year. Now for your local obituaries. Tracy Ann Flannery, 55, of Clinton, passed away at 8:28 a.m. April 3rd at Audrey Court in Clinton. Services will be 11 a.m. Tuesday, April 7th at Calvert Funeral Home in Clinton, with Pastor Nick Blackledge officiating. Burial will follow at Memorial Park Cemetery in Clinton. Visitation will be 10 to 11 a.m. Tuesday at the funeral home. Memorials may be directed to the Special Olympics. Online condolences may be made at calvertmemorial.com. Get news anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
MR Systems Wireless is your local internet provider for Clinton and surrounding area. They have the products you want and the local service you deserve. MR Systems Wireless Internet service for home or business includes unlimited data, unlimited streaming, and unlimited calling. Plans start at just $48 a month and get a free Roku 4Ls with our media packages. Get the speed you need with MR Systems Wireless. Call them at 935-2100. That's 935-2100 for MR Systems Wireless.
From the Hart Media Group Sports Desk, IL Sports Wire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. The Illinois State baseball program secured a 10-4 victory over Southern Illinois in the series finale Sunday afternoon. With the win, the Redbirds improved to 20-12 and 5-4 in the Missouri Valley Conference play. Junior Ryan Banks headlined the Illinois State offense after he matched a career high with 3 hits, including a 2-run home run in the 4th inning. Banks added his first 3 RBI performances as a Redbird to match a career best total in a single game. Redshirt freshman Luke Teschke continued to impress on the mound after recording his 3rd straight start with at least 5 innings pitched. Teschke added 4 strikeouts and limited the Salukis to 2 runs on 3 hits. The Redbirds struck early after a trio of doubles from redshirt sophomore Braden Bakes and senior Josh Outlaw, and junior Graham Mastros gave Illinois State a 2-0 advantage in the top of the 1st inning. In the 4th, the Redbirds grew their lead after sophomore Luis Boussard drove home junior Luke Stolga on an RBI single, after Stolga reached on a leadoff double to make the score 3-0. Moments later, junior Ryan Bakes delivered his 2nd home run of the series to extend the Illinois State advantage to 5-0. As the lineup turned over, Braden Bakes walked and stole second to get into scoring position as Outlaw notched an RBI single to score Bakes and push the lead to 6-0. Southern Illinois responded in the bottom half of the 4th, working a pair of runners into scoring position to open the inning. With a double, the Salukis plated 2 runs to make the score 6-2. The Redbirds pounced in the top of the 5th as Illinois State rallied to score 4 runs in the 2nd straight inning of a 2-out rally. Mastros opened the scoring for the Redbirds in the frame, taking advantage of a passed ball to make the score 7-2. Ryan Bakes tallied his 2nd hit of the contest with an RBI single to bring home Stolga and push the Illinois State lead to 8-2. With 2 runs across in the inning, freshman Braden Zillis delivered his 2nd hit of the season with an RBI double to give the Redbirds a 9-2 lead. After an infield single from graduate Camden Karchewski, Braden Bakes recorded the Redbirds' 2nd infield single of the frame to score Zillis and make the score 10-2. Southern Illinois pulled a run back in the 7th with an RBI single to make it 10-3 in the bottom of the 9th, but the Salukis looked to rally late, adding a run to make it 10-4, but the Redbirds shut down the threat to secure the victory. Illinois fell to Purdue 10-5 on Sunday afternoon in the rubber match of its series at Alexander Field. The Fighting Illini opened the scoring in the top of the 1st, but the Boilermakers accounted for the remainder of the game's runs as the hosts took the series. Jack Zebed registered his 3rd home run of the season in the 1st inning, and he has reached base in 11 of the last 12 games, while Daniel Contreras and J.R. Nelson posted multi-hit games for the Illini. AJ Putty went 1 for 5 with a run scored, while Cameron Chi-Aloy went 1 for 4 with an RBI single. Sam Mommer went 3 innings with 2 strikeouts to start the game. Sam Reed went 3 innings in relief, facing only 9 batters during his scoreless appearance. Davis Martin tossed 6 innings, a 4-hit ball to lead the Chicago White Sox past Toronto 3-0 on Sunday for their first 3-game sweep of the Toronto Blue Jays in 10 years.
There's not much better than a little spring cleaning early in a baseball season, and that's exactly what the White Sox had in mind as they busted out the brooms on Sunday afternoon, sweeping the Toronto Blue Jays right out of town.
Hey, there's a swing and a line drive center field base hit, and it gets past Varsho. It's going to roll to the wall. Mygroth scores. Vargas on his way to third. It's 1-0 Sox.
Vargas tied up Mooney Murakami for the team lead in RBIs, and the White Sox added 2 more 2-out RBIs en route to a 3-0 win in the game and the series. The Sox continue their homestand on the South Side Monday night against the Orioles. I'm Jeff Meller, and I'll have your pregame coverage starting at 6 p.m. on the ESPN 1000 Hard Rock Casino White Sox Network.
White Sox right-handed pitcher Eric Fetty starts Monday at home against Baltimore. Miguel Amaya hit an RBI single in the 8th inning, only the second hit for Chicago, and 4 Chicago Cubs pitchers combined for a one-hitter in a 1-0 victory over the Cleveland Guardians on Sunday in the opener of a traditional doubleheader. Amaya's hard shot to right center field off Connor Brogdon scored pinch runner Dylan Carlson from second base. The Guardians managed only 1 hit, a double that possibly could have been caught against Cubs starter Edward Cabrera and relievers Caleb Thielbar, Hobie Milner, and Daniel Palencia, who worked a perfect ninth for his save. Cabrera handled the Guardians for 5 innings, holding them without a hit before C.J. Kefas led off the 6th with a double. Kefas lifted the ball to right. That was helped by a steady breeze and fooled outfielder Michael Conforto, who took a few steps toward the infield before backtracking too late and watched helplessly as the shot hit the warning track. Stephen Kwan followed with a sacrifice, but the Cubs kept it tied 0-0 as second baseman Nico Horner threw Kefas out at the plate. Cabrera then walked 2 straight batters to load the bases before Thielbar came on and retired Bo Naylor to pop out. Cleveland starter Slade Caccioni nearly matched Cabrera by limiting the Cubs to just 1 hit over 6 innings. In the second game, C.J. Kefas homered and Gabriel Arias hit an RBI single in the 8th inning as the Cleveland Guardians rallied to beat the Chicago Cubs 6-5 and split the doubleheader on Sunday. Shutout 1-0 in the opener, the Guardians were 6 outs from being swept when Kefas, who entered as a pinch hitter in the 6th, homered off Jacob Webb 0-1 to tie it at 4. Rookie Chase DeLauder followed with a single, and Rhys Hoskins walked before Arias delivered his second run-scoring single of Game 2. Austin Hedges singled in a run to put Cleveland up 6-4. Scott Armstrong allowed a tie-breaking homer but picked up the win. Cade Smith gave up an RBI single to Ian Happ in the 9th, but stranded 2 for his 3rd save. Dansby Swanson hit a 2-run homer, and Matt Shaw and Happ added solo shots for Chicago in Game 2. Happ put the Cubs up 4-3 with his 4th homer. He had gone 0 for 11 with 9 strikeouts in the series before connecting off Armstrong. Blanked over the 14 previous innings, the Guardians finally strung together some hits in the 6th and tied it 3-3 on RBIs from Kefas, DeLauder, and Arias. Chicago right-handed pitcher Jamison Talon starts the opener of a 3-game series at Tampa Bay against Shane McClanahan. Ivan Herrera's 2-run single capped a 4-run 5th inning, and the St. Louis Cardinals salvaged the finale of a 3-game series with a 5-3 victory over the Detroit Tigers on Sunday night. Nolan Gorman, Victor Scott II, and Pedro Pajes each scored a run and knocked in another for the Cardinals. St. Louis starter Kyle Leahy gave up 2 runs and 5 hits in 5 innings. Riley O'Brien pitched the 9th for his 2nd save. Kerry Carpenter led the Detroit offense with his 2nd homer in 2 days. Tiger starter Kader Montero gave up 3 runs, 2 earned, and 3 hits in 4 1/3 innings. Montero was recalled from AAA Toledo on Saturday after Justin Verlander was placed on the 15-day injured list due to a left hip inflammation. Verlander has been scheduled Sunday to make his first start at Comerica Park in a Tigers uniform since the 2017 season. Colt Keith led off the Detroit third with a single. Leahy retired the next two batters before Carpenter launched a 425-foot drive to straightaway center field to give the Tigers a 2-0 lead. The Cardinals scored their first two runs in the fifth on Pages' RBI single and Scott's squeeze bunt. Herrera smacked his two-out, two-run single off Emmanuel De Jesus. Javier Baez's sacrifice fly in the sixth cut the Cardinals' lead to 4-3. Gorman's sacrifice fly in the eighth made it 5-3. The Cardinals' right-handed pitcher Andre Palante is scheduled to start the opener of a three-game series Monday night at Washington. Devin Booker scored 30 points. Jalen Green added 25, and the Phoenix Suns ended the game on an 11-2 run to top the Chicago Bulls 120-110 on Sunday. Dylan Brooks scored 15 points. He hit a fadeaway jumper and a three and blocked a shot during the decisive run, helping the Suns shake off back-to-back losses at Orlando and Charlotte. The Suns led by 13 late in the third quarter before the Bulls went on an 11-0 run. They were clinging to a 109-108 advantage with about 3 minutes remaining when Brooks hit a turnaround jumper to start the decisive run and added a three-pointer. Trey Jones scored 29 for Chicago. Colin Sexton had 18 points and 9 rebounds, and Miller finished with 17 points and 10 boards. The Suns host Houston on Tuesday night, while the Bulls visit Washington on Tuesday and Thursday. Robert Thomas broke a tie with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left to complete his first NHL hat trick, and the St. Louis Blues kept their late postseason charge rolling with a 3-2 victory over the Colorado Avalanche on Sunday night to open a home-and-home set. Thomas pushed his goal total to 21. He scored the winner off Jimmy Snuggerud's third assist. Joel Hofer finished with 26 saves, weathering a flurry of activity in the third period after losing a skate blade. Parker Kelly and Brent Burns scored for Colorado. Mackenzie Blackwood stopped 25 shots. The Avalanche were 0 for 3 on the power play. Ross Colton nearly put the Avalanche up midway through the first period when he knocked in a puck out of the air, but the Blues successfully challenged the play for offsides. Moments later, Thomas scored to make it 1-0. Colorado tied it up on Kelly's 20th goal of the season. The two teams will meet again on Tuesday. Fabulous freshman Braylon Mullins made another last-minute three-pointer, his only basket of the second half, and the UConn Huskies muscled their way past the Illinois Fighting Illini 71-62 on Saturday to reach their third national championship game in 4 years. Terrace Reed Jr. had 17 points and 11 rebounds, and Mullins finished with 15 points as the Huskies, who improved to 34-5, rode strong inside play and tough defense to their 19th straight victory in the Sweet 16 or later rounds of the NCAA tournament. They'll face Michigan with a chance to win their 7th national title, all since 1999, as Hurley tries to become the only active coach with more than 2 championships. After Silas Damari Jr. secured an offensive rebound, Mullins hit a catch-and-shoot three with 52 seconds left that gave UConn a 66-59 lead and thwarted Illinois' late charge. Freshman guard Keaton Wagler had 20 points and 8 rebounds to lead the Fighting Illini, who finished the season 28-9 and reached their first Final Four since losing the championship game to UNC in 2005. Tomislav Ivicic had 16 points and 7 rebounds for the Illini, who couldn't replicate the blueprint that carried them to double-digit victories over Penn, VCU, Houston, and Iowa. Illinois made just 3 of 14 three-pointers in the first half and finished with 6 of 26 from beyond the arc. UConn took full advantage, even though the Huskies had 2 long scoring droughts, nearly 6 minutes in the first half and more than 6 minutes in the second. The latter allowed Illinois to charge back from its biggest deficit of the season, 57-43, with 9 minutes and 43 seconds to play, to get within 57-53 with 5 minutes and 3 seconds remaining. But the Huskies answered and closed it out at the free throw line for their 5th straight win in the series. UConn beat Illinois 74-61 on November 28th in Madison Square Garden. And now the Huskies have led the Illini to their 2 lowest scoring totals and shooting percentages of the season. UConn also beat Illinois 77-52 in the Elite Eight 2 years ago. In scores from around the MLB from Sunday, the Pittsburgh Pirates beat the Baltimore Orioles 8-2, while the LA Dodgers beat the Washington Nationals 8-6.